Morning, everyone. Welcome to the Friday, April 14th, 2023 California Coastal Commission meeting. Ms. Miller, please call the roll.
Commissioner Aguirre,
Presente.
Commissioner Bochco,
Present.
Commissioner Cummings,
Here.
Commissioner Escalante,
Here.
Commissioner Harmon,
Here.
Commissioner Diamond,
Here.
Commissioner Ketchum,
Here.
Commissioner Nuttall,
Here.
Commissioner Rice,
Here.
Commissioner Campbell Sanders,
Present.
Chair Brown-Z.
Present.
You have a quorum.
We're now going to move to general public comment.
I appreciate the opportunity. It's Leslie Purcell. So this is a big item, the proposed.
Patricia McPherson.
Hi, I'm Patricia McPherson, Grassroots Coalition. I just want to draw your attention to our need for upcoming meetings with enforcement personnel, Ms. Hagee and Andrew Willis, and also to be able to speak with and meet with Mandy Revelle over the Ballona wetlands issues for sequence 1 and 2 that the Department of Fish and Wildlife is attempting to promote, which we believe they'll have an application according to staff potentially by May. What my concern is that is not being addressed is the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act. I do not see reference to that in the Coastal Commission's strategic plan, despite the fact that the Water Code 10723.2 and beneficial uses is mentioned in there. But SGMA is something that all of our agencies must abide by. Ballona has already been acknowledged by the Department of Water Resources as a groundwater dependent ecosystem. Its multiple underlying aquifers are at risk from CDFW's plan. There has been no hydrology study regarding any of the salt water that there is the intention to bring into the Ballona area as they lower the below sea level when they take out the channels, and also the main project, which is part of the, the entire project for this thing. We seem to be having piecemealed things happening here. The water board is now, the board members are now aware of this and are paying attention to SGMA and groundwater dependent ecosystems. I actually hate saying the word SGMA because I'm afraid most of you are not familiar with the term whatsoever. And yet it's been around since 2014 that we need to protect our groundwater and our surface water interface systems, which Ballona is a predominantly seasonal freshwater wetland. Thank you.
I'm looking for commissioner comment or questions. Commissioner Bochco.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know a number of you are used to me bringing up this after public comment on the Farallones, but I know we have several new commissioners here, and I found the speakers very interesting today because there are a lot more facts, it seems, available about the use of the poison on the islands. So again, I'm always a little confused about what our next step is. We have been told that we will get a review before they do the action of dropping the poison. Am I correct, Dr. Kate?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Cassidy Teufel.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah,
to give a little bit of a status update, maybe.
That would be lovely. And again, just for the new commissioners, Cassidy, maybe you could just give a tiny little summary of what was decided. Thank you.
Absolutely. Good morning, commissioners. So regarding the Farallon Islands project, the project is a proposal by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to eradicate the invasive house mouse from the Southeast Farallon Islands. At the moment, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is in the process of completing its federal agency consultations on the project. Once that's complete, which is expected within the coming months, a record of decision will be published for the project, and the service will begin contracting with those entities who will be responsible for implementing the project and its various operational and monitoring plans. And that will entail preparation of revised versions of those plans. You may recall when this was brought before you all as a consistency determination, it included draft versions of operational plans, monitoring plans, and a variety of other implementation plans. As part of, sorry, I just lost my notes. Okay, as part of your conditional concurrence, the commission required these plans to be provided to the executive director for review and comment. And prior to preparing those comments, we all committed to the plans being brought before you and provided to both the public and the commission in advance of an informational hearing, and then holding an informational hearing so that the commission and public can provide input on those plans. Following that hearing, staff would compile and transmit those comments to the service and would work directly with the service regarding any suggested revisions or additions to the plans.
So an informational hearing is not a real hearing in the sense that we couldn't change our mind. Is there a mechanism if we find there is an extreme amount of evidence of, say, changed circumstances? One of the things that I keep thinking about is, you know, we were presented with only the option of eradication. We were never presented with the option of management of the mice. So I'm just thinking, is there a mechanism if a majority of the commissioners would like to either change their mind or to have greater input than just an informational hearing?
So if the commission determined that there was new information or substantial changes to the project, that as a result, the project would result in new or different impacts to coastal resources, there's a reopener provision in the federal consistency regulations where the commission could ask for that process to proceed. So it would start with a determination that there was a significant change or new information, and as a result of that change or new information, the project was no longer consistent.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
Chair, I did want to respond really briefly to Commissioner Akie's comments, as well as Commissioner Bochco. I did just want to make sure we understand that we will be bringing back plans for the Fairlands. It's not a rehearing, though. That we have to be really clear. That's not the standard that we would be looking at. There's a reopener clause, and so if it is determined that there is new information and it meets that standard and new impacts that weren't considered by the commission originally, we could look at then doing a reopener. I just want to make clear it's not an opportunity to just rehear the same thing again. So just, there's a lot of information and a lot of very interested advocates on both sides. And so it continues to be an important issue. So we will bring it to you and we will discuss, but I just want to make sure, and we'll be clear with this when we do bring it back, what the hearing would entail and what the standard would be if some commissioners would be interested in potentially considering a reopener, but just want to make that very clear.